Education is one of the biggest investments parents make. But as the cost of education rises, managing these expenses have become challenging for parents. This has led to a growing conversation around education financing. Hello and welcome to Auxilo Podcast. I am Mrunal Salvi and joining with me today is Mr. Anand Subramanium, who leads India for Auxilo. With his experience in the education financing space, we'll be speaking to him across this series about some of the most important questions around education financing in India. So, welcome to the podcast, Anand sir. I will start with a very basic question. What is education financing in simple terms?
See, education finance in simple terms, if I have to define for you, is financing that you take for going through your education. Now, education varies in India. It varies from school, it varies for colleges, it goes for, EdTech related courses, it goes for test prep. Everywhere people can, go and take any kind of a learning. Financing for that is typically the education finance.
So that helps us simplify the concept. But who exactly is education financing for? Who should be opting for it? Students, parents, or both?
See, as India is evolving and the education system is also evolving, you will notice that when people go for any education, there is a cost attached to it. So there are a set of people who can pay for that money upfront because sometimes the fees can be up to even a lakh or more than a lakh. For some people may believe that instead of paying it in one lot, they can pay it over a period of time because that will help them in managing their finances better. So people who believe that they will have to manage their finances should opt for it. That's one. And there are some people who believe that for a better quality of education, they will be stretching a little more than what would be convenient for them. So those set of people also, to manage their finances, take an additional kind of a support from the financing option and ensure that they're getting that additional quality of education. So I think those are the people who should typically opt for education finance.
So why do you think the demand is increasing in India right now?
See, currently demand is increasing for 2-3 reasons. One, the demography of India is changing, which is everybody knows. Approximately, there are about close to 25 crore students who are in kindergarten to standard 12 who are studying in the Indian market today. So what is happening is people are slowly realizing that education is their ticket to successful career, successful business going forward, and people have realized that how critical education is for them. So a lot more people are willing across all segments of the society are coming into the market. And then what is happening is that then there is a cost improvement which is happening. The content that is being provided is also improving as we move forward. As you improve the content, the cost also keeps increasing. And hence what is happening is the cost inflation is happening and the number of students are coming in, so which puts in an additional inflationary pressure there. So the finance is required because of those reasons.
So many people will associate a traditional loan with an education finance loan.
Correct.
Why do you think that is? And are there any major differences in a traditional loan versus?
See, if you look at a traditional loan, what happens? In a traditional loan, in terms of the structure, loan is the same thing that you take a quantum of money and you repay it over a period of time. So there is no difference in these two aspects. But in an education, for example, in a personal loan, if you go ahead and take, any individual who takes a personal loan will get the credit into their account. If you are buying a property, what happens is you go and pay the money either to the builder or somebody else who is involved in that property transaction, or sometimes even to the person who's taking the loan. In education loan, typically the money will be going towards the institution for whatever purpose they are taking the loan, the money will end up going into that particular institution. That's a fundamental difference between an education loan and any other loan. Of course, there are multiple benefits that get accrued to an education loan, especially if you are doing higher education in India. Education loan comes under a section called ATE, wherein you can get tax benefits, which probably will not be there in a personal loan. So there are certain other benefits which also accrue if you take an education.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely clarifies a little more. So is it becoming a necessity or is it still optional in India?
See, as I mentioned to you earlier, what is happening here is that as and when the contents are increasing, the quality of content, if you go to the school, that earlier the kind of infrastructure which was provided is not the same infrastructure that is being provided now. There are additional technological inputs which are going in, additional facilities that are required, be it sports, be it, computer related activities. All of them are attached to cost. So what happens, there is a cost increase which is happening. Whether it is absolutely required or not will always depend on the parents' ability to absorb that particular cost. But what we notice here is that the costs are increasing as we go by, and it makes it convenient for the parents. I would say whether they can do without it, probably yes. Some of the parents, for some of those people, it makes it a lot more convenient if they take this particular loan and pay it over a period of time instead of blocking the money upfront in the beginning of the financial year.
Wildcard question.
I just really enjoy it.
So Anand sir, let me play the devil's advocate here. We have EMI for phone, we have EMI for cars, we have EMI for holidays as well. So are we normalizing debt for families, or are we making education more accessible?
See, both are true, but then what you need to understand is what is the final outcome and why are we incurring these costs. For example, I go and take a personal loan. It could be for an exigency or it could be for a luxury or an entertainment activity. Whereas you know that education is a fundamental requirement as we are talking about it. So if it's a fundamental requirement and you want better quality of education for your family member or for yourself, then either you have the resources to pay for it upfront or you need finances for it. So if you don't have the resources yourself and if finance is helping it, I would definitely not look at it as a debt burden for them. I would rather look at it as an investment for future growth. So I would rather put it as an investment, and I would rather look at it as an investment which is critical, essential, and will ensure for your future well-being and prosperity.
As education continues to evolve, how we plan and pay for it evolves too. And conversations like these can help both families as well as institutions make more informed decisions. Thank you so much for giving us your insights, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much, Pranav.